Hello and welcome to the special Facebook Live on Global Hand Washing Day on the NDTV Dettol Banega Swasth India. Today, we have a special guest who's actually worked in this sector for over 5 decades now. Dr. Indira Chakravarti, she's a Padma Shri awardee, public health specialist, and an environmentalist. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Chakravarti, for joining us today.
Thank you, Ambika.
Ma'am, you've had an experience in this field for so many years now. To start with, before we start taking the viewer questions, tell us, what is the importance of Hand Washing Day? I mean, every year it is celebrated on the 15th of October, but just tell us a little bit about it, please.
Ambika, thank you very much for calling me on this show, because I think hand washing is such an important thing that you really need to stress upon that. And the reason why I say that hand washing is the most important thing, because it is such a multi-dynamic impact, because it's your hands. And if you look at your hands are the maximally used organ of your body. Whether you want to scratch a part of your body, or you want to eat your food, or you want to touch water, or you want to touch somebody, or you want to open a door handle, it's your hands. It's your hands which touches everything external and touches everything on yourself. Therefore, it's likely to get contaminated the most. So if you can keep your hands clean, don't bring external agencies near you, that's the only way then you can prevent infection to the maximal extent. So I think among the entire body parts, the only part that needs to be properly cleaned regularly is your hands. And that can be only done by proper washing of hands, what I'm mentioning, proper washing of hands. And that's why I feel that hand washing is one single event which has multi-dynamic impact. It impacts on yourself, it impacts on your food, it impacts on your water, it impacts on the entire environmental milieu around you. So I think this is the most critically important issue when you talk of hygiene, hand washing, keeping your hands clean.
Like you said, it's a very critical thing. In fact, one of the most important thing when it comes to infection, diarrhea rates can be brought down, even pneumonia. So, what are the diseases which we can actually, if you're washing our hands well, what diseases can we really keep away from us?
Actually, Ambika, basically we thought firstly the most important thing was diarrhea, which is basically a waterborne disease. So all kinds of waterborne diseases can be kept away if you wash your hands properly. And if you look into the data which came out from the National Family NFHS 4 and NFHS 5, 2016 and 2019, we see in the data the diarrhea has not decreased. So that's one point of great concern, that why doesn't it decrease? But of course, now we have a lot of hope. I'll come to that later on with the Jal Jeevan Mission coming in. So with hand washing should increase. So this is a point of concern, that diarrhea has not been coming down to the extent we wanted it to come down. Yeah. And we all know that if you, in under 5 children, data very clearly shows that if you can wash your hands regularly, diarrhea can be controlled between, I think, around 35 to nearly 50%. There's another school which says it can be brought down till about 30 to 40%. So that the hand washing has a direct impact on diarrhea, especially in children, has already been established with published data. And other infections that we never realized is ARI, acute respiratory tract infection, which is a very, very critical problem, because all the respiratory pathogens have droplets fall, and they fall on your hand. So if you don't wash your hands, it's easily transferred from one person to another person. And acute ARI is now a very, very critical problem with the COVID-19 coming in. So when you have this COVID-19, which is a major respiratory tract disease, one has to understand that it's not just diarrhea, not just waterborne disease, but even respiratory infections are controlled by hand washing, overall hygiene. And we need to be very, very careful now. COVID-19 is possibly just a tip of an iceberg. We never know what's going to come after this. So unless we concentrate on hand washing, unless we teach our children how to wash hands properly from now onwards, they have a long life to go after this. So unless we teach them right now that please wash your hands, which will prevent them from a lot of negative infections which are going to affect their health in days to come. So it's a very, very critical problem for an overall control of infection, overall control of diseases. So it's one single point hygiene intervention. Yes,
So,
yes,
like you
Amrita.
were just bringing out, talking about children, we can come back to it. We can take some
Yeah,
viewer questions first.
sure, sure.
Just before we go on to the viewer questions, of course, schools will be opening up very soon. That's
Yes,
again important because children tend to share their tiffins and,
yes,
they are
yes,
intermingling. So we'll come back
yes.
to children, Dr. Indira. Indira, one thing
Yeah.
I want to ask you, what are the requirements to, really implement hand washing? Especially hand
Uh-huh.
washing when we talk about it's the right ways to use soap and water.
Yeah, yeah,
So what
yeah.
are your thoughts on that?
I'll come to that, but I'll also like to mention before that what are the positive impacts of hand washing. Maybe we can come back to that later on.
Yes,
I mean,
sure.
so that's something very, very, very large scenario of on so many issues that hand washing impacts upon health, nutrition, socioeconomic issues, gender issues. Maybe I would like to speak on that. But once you've come to what are the needs are two very critical needs. One, I think I'll basically broadly say two basic needs. One is create a hand washing behavior, which is the most important thing, as I mentioned just now, that right from childhood, people have to be given a habit of washing hands. And people like us, I mean, I'm way old, but people like you who are much younger also should get into the habit of washing hands. So that's one important. Second thing is just not telling them wash your hands. What people ask when I've worked in lots of villages in many states, and what I found when you go and tell them, please wash your hands, they ask us water. I mean, if you're asking me to wash our hands, where's the water? So give
Yes.
us the water. What's the point of your telling us do this and do that when we don't have the basic thing of how to do it? So I think availability of water, not only availability, accessibility
Yeah.
at a short distance is something very, very important. Because when, for example, women are main carriers of water, if you don't have water accessible to you, you need to carry water from far away.
Yeah.
So then people become stringent in using it. So they will not wash their hands properly or not wash their hands at all. They would rather use it for essential purposes like cooking and stuff like that. Therefore, first is availability of water, of what you need, accessibility of water. That you need the water, you can give it with ease, not with drudgery. So if you can get water at ease at your home, preferably or close to your home, and in amounts which are sort of enough, only then that infrastructure will actually support the hand washing. So it's one side, it is the behavior, hand washing behavior, and on the other side, it is the availability and accessibility of water for doing this. So I think these two things, if you look into these two focus things, it will be, I think, one of the most important pillars to improve health in the next decade to come.
So when we talk about implementation, just for our viewers, what you've explained is one is behavior change, of course, that we need to understand why hand washing is important. And second is, of course, accessibility, availability of water as well as soap. I think that's another challenge.
Yes, I'll come to that. I'm coming to that. Proper hand washing, I'll come to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think when you say hand washing, it's not enough. Hand washing is, not just washing with water. You need to wash hand properly with soap, which is very, very important. And actually, it's been shown that if you wash your hands properly with soap, the benefit that you have is actually double, 1:2. So you may say we are spending on soap, we are spending on getting water at home, whatever. But if you look at the cost benefit issue, where the economic burden is concerned, it is 1:2. That whatever you spend on soap and water, what you gain is 2 times that by way of not spending on doctors, not spending on, I'm going to come to that, not spending on money to go to buy the soap and other things, buy other things. Secondly, not losing working days, not losing school days. So these are issues all have to come in. So just what I was saying earlier is that hand washing has a huge multi-dynamic impact.
Yeah.
It's a huge impact that we have. For example, hygiene improves, therefore cleanliness improves and health improves. How does health improve? Because infections come down, diseases come down. You don't lose your working days, so therefore you don't lose your income. As a matter of fact, there's a data which shows that a person, if they don't have proper wash support, they may lose 73 working days a year. So that's a huge amount of day, and which actually they've calculated out to be several $million, $7 billion. So that's a very, 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 very huge thing. And therefore, what it leads eventually is that you have lost money, you have lost health, and more or less you have lost income, and you've also lost nutrition. I mean, that's what I wanted to come to, that how do you lose nutrition? Firstly, when a child or anybody has diarrhea, you don't absorb food. So what happens, whatever you eat goes out. It's like a leaky pot. So you put food, it goes out. So therefore the nutrient goes waste. So you're not eating anything, as a matter of fact. So it goes off. Secondly, what happens is that you are not retaining nutrition within your body because it's going out, and therefore you become undernourished. So already an undernourished child, when you have diarrhea, they become further undernourished. A Bangladesh study in preschoolers showed about the economic burden linked to nutrient loss. It was done by the micronutrients survey that was done in Bangladesh about 2011. They found that poor people have much higher economic burden when they have diarrhea, when they looked into the economic loss of undernourished children. The undernourished children in poor categories, they lost more than 11% of economic burden, while in the richer children, better-to-do children, it was only about 2.5 to 5%. So it really doubles. So therefore, the poorer category, the underprivileged category, will be by far more affected by diarrhea leading to undernutrition than the richer category of people. So I think this is something one needs to concentrate. And one more thing that I'll talk about nutrition loss is drudgery. That people, when you basically the thing is, when you need more water, you have to carry water from far away, which leads to drudgery of women. So that is again is an other not really to hand washing, that really causes undernutrition. So accessibility and availability of water, once again I stress, in one way helps in better and proper hand washing, and secondly in reduction of drudgery, which also results in undernutrition. So it's washing hands properly with soap is the most important thing. We would like to stress on that. I remember my little grandchild, when he was 2 years old in a nursery, they taught him how to wash his hands. And with his little small hands, he used to come and put the soap between his fingers on the top. And at least he would take at least a minute under the tap to wash his hands. We never washed our hands like that. So I really admired the way the school was teaching him how to wash hands. And so I think these are little trainings from the school, that not just using soap, but using the soap properly to wash your hands is another very, very important thing. I think it's such a multi-dynamic impact which has.
And I think the way you wash it, we have got some interesting questions which I'm going to ask you. Just one thing I wanted to, tell our viewers as well. We have been having this campaign. It's in its 8th year, which we just recently launched. And, we earlier spoke about a Swachh Bharat, and then we connected it to a Swasth Bharat. So, be a clean India can be a healthy India. And then now we are really linking it to the prosperity. So what you just said, the economic burden. So, I think that connect, if we as individuals make that, hygiene, health, and prosperity of a nation are connected. So I think that's a very important point. We'll take on the first question, Dr. Chakravarti. Raghav wants to know, how can we ensure people with no sanitation to wash their hands in India?
So with sanitation, we had the Swachh Bharat mission, which was supposed to cover pan-India sanitation. When you talk of sanitation, hand washing is linked to more water supply, not really to sanitation. When you talk of sanitation, yes, when you have to have, sanitation is directly not linked to water supply, but we always say that all latrines must have water to wash yourself. That is very important. So you must have sanitation along with water. And I would just say, Robert, that you should ask for sanitation with supply of water. And definitely, of course, washing enough water to wash your hands after ablution, for ablution, after your sanitation. But the thing is, yes, we expect that with the Swachh Bharat mission over and still going on, that we have really covered most of the nation. And we expect that, and now with the Jal Jeevan mission coming in, which is giving tapped water, Ghar Ghar Jal, everywhere. So we expect that the water supply to also come into whatever sanitary facilities that are built. So that's the only thing. But yes, hand washing is extremely important after sanitation. But I would say all over, not just after going for sanitation, but definitely always. Yeah.
I think we must ensure that everybody has these facilities. The next question, Dr. Chakravarti, Anushka wants to know, what is the link between hand washing and nutrition?
I just mentioned it a little bit, Anushka, just to put it once again, that if you don't wash your hands properly, it's going to lead to infections, which is going to lead to diseases like diarrhea. And the most common disease that we have is diarrhea. And as you know, that out of the total waterborne diseases that we have in the country today, or the loss of money that we have today, 2/3 of this is attributed to diarrhea. At least 2/3 of it is attributed to diarrhea. And what does diarrhea do? Diarrhea affects your intestine, and you can't assimilate any food. So all your nutrients go out. They just go out like a leaky pot. That's very important because you're not getting the nutrition that you need, and your body is losing all the nutrition. So therefore, diabetic children becomes always undernourished. And as I just mentioned, that it's more common among poorer children, and therefore they are far more affected than the children coming from the richer categories of people. So nutrition and diarrhea have a very intricate role to play together. And diarrhea, of course, hand washing is one of the major causes of diarrhea. So this is the way we link nutrition to diarrhea. And as I mentioned, if you the data has shown that undernutrition due to waterborne diseases, by that you lose about 10% of your income in your entire lifetime. So that is a very, very important thing to know, that 10% of an income of a family goes if the child is undernourished, and that may happen due to diarrhea. And another data which shows that if we to control undernutrition, the cost that the nation needs is 27 times more than if you had given them proper nutrition with proper sanitation and hygiene. So it's two-way impact. One side, waterborne diseases like diarrhea is making you lose working days, economic loss, and therefore an overall negative effect. On the other side, children are becoming undernourished. That also leads to loss of days, economic loss. So it becomes a double burden. On one side, wash, and one side, undernutrition, both link together to actually make if you can just mention that we have a public health group, and there Ravi Bhatnagar from Reckitt mentioned that if you're just giving money doesn't reduce poverty. He had quoted from somewhere, maybe you've also seen it, he had quoted that just giving money will not reduce poverty, because what you need, it's such a multi-dynamic approach. You have to give them water, you have to give them food, you have to give them sanitation, yes, you have to give them electricity, all that is needed. So similarly here, it's such a, the life system, it's such a multi-dynamic thing. So just giving money will not happen. You will have to have this multi-dynamic impacts putting in there.
The approach needs to be taken. And like before we take on the next question, there are a couple of them. The other thing, also, which for children with school starting, and there's also been a study, I think, that if children are washing their hands well, absenteeism reduces, because again, you're not falling unwell. Do you see that connect as well, which is also very important, because at the end of the day, it's impacting children's education?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's why I was just mentioning Jal Jeevan Mission, if I can talk a little bit on that. Jal Jeevan Mission is a program of Government of India now, which is going to give water to every household and every school, every educational system, that they are saying. And especially to the underprivileged areas, to the JE affected areas, it's a multiple program. And as far as I know right now, that their coverage has been extremely fast and extremely good. And especially school coverage has been extremely high. They have now possibly covered more than 8 crore households already in just 2 years. And I think the final till 2024, I think it has to be more than 19 crores. But already in just 2 years, they've covered more than 8 crores. And a vast number of them are schools. So a huge number of schools have been covered by Jal Jeevan Mission. And in the school, I think the major inputs are hand washing places, hand washing stands. So this is something we are expecting, but still to come. The program has started, still to come, that every school will have a proper hand washing stand where they can go and wash their hands. So therefore, this is what I would basically say, with the schools opening right now, hand washing is going to be one of the most critical issues to keep children not falling sick, is going to be critically important. And I would suggest when government starts opening the schools, they should personally inspect the schools and find out all safety measures, what are the safety measures being taken, where they're following it properly, and definitely see that the children are washing hands. Secondly, they must ensure, my suggestion to them is, please supply soaps. Please give soaps to the children to wash their hands. Just not giving the water system, but please, because children will not bring soaps from home. So therefore, please ensure, and poor schools will definitely do so please ensure that soaps are given to children when they're washing their hands. And maybe when the school opens, have a demonstration for the children to how to wash their hands. When you come out from home to the school, wash your hands properly. Maybe before tiffin time, go and wash your hands once again. After tiffin, wash your hands again. When you're going back in the evening, before that, wash your hands and go out. And for all this, there should be enough water stations to wash hands with soap. And that's something I must say, that soap has to be supplied by the school or whoever, so that the schools can open with washing. This is other than any other, masks and all that are already there. But this is something nobody is mentioning.
It will play an important role. Yes, which will play an important. Thank you for bringing out that point. I think especially now with festival season and all that. So hand washing, of course, and since we're talking about it, I mean, of course we have this special day, but I think talking about it, spreading awareness is key. Dr. Chakravarti, Aishwarya wants to know: is there an urban-rural divide when it comes to hand washing? How can we bridge this gap?
So the basic thing was that in urban areas, maybe I'm not talking of slums, but in general, barring slums, in general, urban areas have more easier water supply. They mostly have it at homes. And therefore, washing hands is easier. But when you look into the data that has come in the urban-rural sector, there's not much of a difference. Whatever little study, there's not been very solid studies. We had ourselves done a study some time back on whether the hand washing is more in urban areas or less in urban areas. We found there is not much of a difference in the behavior of washing of hands. But of course, availability of water is better in urban areas, especially in households. But in the slums, again, actually they're worse than rural areas. In the slums, the access to water is much poorer because they don't have water supply 24 hours, first of all. They have fits and in fits couple of hours, then they have to line up for water. So their water is a huge scarcity. And in the slums areas. So that is, again, yes, that's a very important thing. And when you have water scarcity, you cannot ensure hand washing. You cannot, because you need water to wash your hands. So this is something very, very important, a very, very important question. Yes, we need more water, and that both in urban and rural areas. And the vulnerable areas in urban areas are the slums, basically definitely slums, and maybe some of the poorer section, and rural all over.
So actually, I think to answer that question of Aishwarya, bridging the gap can only be done with access to water as well as soap. Yes. Just a last question, we'll take it on, Dr. Indra, Astha wants to know, how can we ensure people practice hand washing even after the pandemic? And especially now, the COVID pandemic has really taught us, and when we're talking about COVID protocol, besides social distancing, wearing a mask, like they say, washing our hands the right way is important. So if you can take that question which Astha is asking, how do we really ensure people to practice this?
Astha, it's a very, very, human mind. So we have to motivate them. If you scare them, I'll tell you, we are a very independent kind of Homo sapiens, human beings are. So scaring them, you can't keep under control for too long. The moment the scare goes off, people go around and do things. So I think it is basically making them understand that how important it is. And it's very, very important. That's why I say motivate the children. I've always found that if children learn something, if children practice something, the parents take to it. The parents quite often take to it. So I think children are one of our major targets. I think whom we should teach washing hands. At least if not this generation, maybe next generation will have wonderful hand washing habits. If your children, if we catch on to the young ones right now. So I think, I've just mentioned my grandson's habits. He washes his hands all through. He's now 5. He's not forgotten that in 3 years. So, once you teach a child, the child remembers it. And therefore, I think that's the only thing is to look at our preschool children, our school-going children, try to motivate them. And of course, elders, we have to tell them that you need to do it. And we have to see how they behave. I think once you give them water, accessible water at home, and I think automatically they will improve. And I'm saying earlier, we used to say, wash your hands only before eating and after you, for ablution later or after ablution. Yes. But now I say, wash your hands all the time, because I just now mentioned that pandemic, COVID-19 has clearly taught us that it is just not diarrhea and other things. It is also, hand washing is extremely critical even for respiratory diseases. Yes. So that's something very, very important.
In fact, you've explained us everything really well. I think so most important is inculcating these habits, to the youngsters, to the children at a young age. And of course, parents also need to keep telling their kids time and again and practicing themselves. Mm-hmm. Behavior change is something we need to work on. Access to water as well as soap, something to wash their hands with is important.
And schools can take a very active role.
Yes, and schools must really take this seriously. So this, and we really need to bring about that change and understand. I think what you said, Dr. Indra, was about, it's not just about the fear, it's about really understanding how hand washing impacts us in every way.
And water with soap, that's very important. Not just washing our hands with hand wash doesn't mean just water. It has to be properly clean.
And the certain steps, which they say we have between your fingers, nails and everything. So I think these are the things which need to be taught and each one of us must follow them. Thank you so much, Dr. Chakravarti, for joining us today.
Thank you, Ambika. Thank you.